We're going to be joined by our guy, Brian Baldinger, who's with us right now. Let's go to the hotline and talk to our guy. Baldy, what's going on?
It's time to get to the OL Masterminds down in Frisco, Texas here, and see what the offensive line wants to concentrate on this year. How we're going to get better. It's going to be a great turnout. Looking forward to it. Year 7 for us right now.
And Baldy, I think last week you said there's going to be like a couple hundred offensive linemen down there.
I think there's going to be somewhere around 400. I just got a call yesterday from one of the conditioning coaches at Alabama. The entire starting offensive line from Alabama is coming. So if that's happening, then some of this college money that's out there, these kids are like taking advantage of it, and they're coming to some of these type of camps that we're having in Frisco this weekend, and they want to start their professional careers now by learning from some of the best.
Baldy, obviously you're an incredible media member. Baldy's Breakdowns is huge. NFL Network, you're all over the place, but you're also very much into like some side coaching. Have you ever thought about going into coaching, and why did you choose to not go that route?
Well, I did actually. I coached the Bergamo Lions in the Italian League of American Football. So I lived over in Italy for 6 or 7 months, back in 2010. I had a great time doing that. I enjoy coaching where you have like some espresso with a shot of grappa to start practice. And then you sort of take instead of a Gatorade break, we would just have a cigarette break for those Italians that they need their nicotine fix. So I like coaching at that level. That was a little bit more fun.
Yeah, that sounds like maybe the NFL 50, 60 years ago. So I guess the Italian league still catching up. But Baldy, today we're going to talk about the odds for Bo Nix to start. Some Vegas odds have him as the heavy favorite, like minus 300, minus 400. But from your perspective, do you think that's how it should be going into training camp? Do you think he is the heavy favorite to start week 1, or do you think Sean might rely more on a veteran like Jarrett Stidham at week 1?
I mean, what's Jarrett Stidham got? 4 starts in this league. Look, he's been in the league and he's been in meetings. I don't think Sean is just putting the starting job to Bo on a silver platter. I think he'll have some sort of a plan where they're all going to get an opportunity. Because when you're playing these preseason games, you want your starting quarterback to be with your starting offensive line, protection, center, just the basics. To be able to basically have some sort of rhythm to what you're doing out there. I think he wants his team, to see that he's earned the spot. And so I think there'll be some kind of a plan, some kind of a competition. I don't know how it's going to get balanced out, but you have to balance it out somehow. So I think there'll be a competition, but it'll be my guess that Bo will win that competition. I don't think he'll head to training camp in 2 weeks and he's the starting quarterback and get all the reps. I think there'll be a plan to see if he can win that job.
And I think there's some risk in playing the rookie right away, just because, in my opinion, you don't want to bench a rookie quarterback. Once he's in, you kind of want him to go through the whole season, because if at some point he gets benched, all of a sudden you have big question marks going into next season. Like, do you draft another quarterback? There's some sort of quarterback controversy. Like, there's a whole bunch that goes into that. So it feels like it could be safer maybe to sit Bo on the sideline until, week 6, week 7. And there's just less time for things to go horribly wrong. But I guess, what do you think of that? Is it, first of all, would you be scared to bench a rookie quarterback? But then secondly, is that a good reason to try to keep him out of harm's way a little bit early on in the season?
Well, this is the things that you're trying to figure out about just the level of toughness of him and, how he's wired. This is all part of the process right here. I mean, Joe Flacco started week 1. Matt Ryan started week 1. C.J. Stroud started week 1. They all had phenomenal careers. All right, MVP of the league, Super Bowl winner, all that stuff. They're wired the right way. Matt Ryan had success right away. And he went through a competition in 2008, to get that job. Obviously, that's not worked out for everybody. In fact, it's worked out for very few. But you hope during this process of evaluating these quarterbacks, of drafting Bo Nix, of getting them through the offseason, through training camp, You know a lot about him that if you do start him week one, whatever type of adversity he gets, you just hope that he's wired the right way to handle it. Part of it is you got 61 college starts. He's been through two different systems, two different programs, two different conferences. You would learning new offenses. You would think that is all part of his makeup that would allow him, even if he doesn't have success, if he's hit a bunch, whatever might happen, that he can handle it.
Baldy, when you have two potential stars and kind of a quarterback competition on your hands, how does that hinder the rest of the team and their ability to grow and, be their best depending on which quarterback is in, whether it's how they command the huddle, how they call things at the line? How can that, not having that cohesiveness or that ability to kind of, get a lot of reps under their belt, how does that hurt the team?
Well, the veterans are going to know. Garrett Bowles going to know if Bo Nix is ready. He's just going to know. He's been around a long time. The defense, the veteran defenders are going to know if he's the guy. When I was in Philadelphia, we had a rookie quarterback, and he was drafted in the third round. I won't mention his name right now, but he played at a big school, big program, and he stepped in that huddle, man. He couldn't get a play out of his mouth. He was just so nervous, and it never went away. He was so he didn't have a career. The players kind of know when a guy has poise, when he has leadership. Russell Wilson was not supposed to start his rookie year in Seattle. They paid, a guy from Green Bay a bunch of money, Matt Flynn, to go be the starter. And within a week, everybody knew Russell Wilson was the starter. I just feel like, you've been around. You just feel like certain guys, they know how to handle themselves. They know how to handle the situation. It's not too big. They know how to run a huddle. When plays don't come in wrong, they don't panic. And I think those are some of the telltale signs Sean will see, veterans will see, and you'll know. I think you'll know in a matter of weeks if he's cut out for the job this year and to start this year.
So, Baldy, I want to take Todd's question and move it to the offensive line with that center spot. We hear all the time how important it is to have all five guys on the same page when it comes to the offensive line. The Broncos know they're starting left tackle, left guard, and right tackle. That center spot is up for grabs right now. How crucial is that to name that starting center as soon as possible to get that cohesion there, especially since it's the center spot? Or is it not that imperative to decide soon, and they can really take that decision up till week one?
I think it's imperative. I always say, and I don't think it's hyperbole, you're only going to be as good as your center. And so the quicker you can get that guy established, the quicker he can start calling the huddle, calling the signals, getting protection straightened out, helping your quarterback, the quicker you can get that established, the quicker you can become a cohesive unit. And think, five guys thinking with one brain, those kind of cliches. But it's critical. If you're letting that position dangle out there and you're waiting to see, I believe you'll get off to a slow start. You might get the right guy, which is fine. But I played center, and I know how difficult it is and how everybody's relying on you. It is a position of leadership. I love playing center. I only played it 1 year. But I love playing it. I love the leadership aspect of it. I love huddling guys up on the sideline, getting ready for a 2-minute drill, just previewing what's going to happen on the next drive. I loved all of that. But that's a lot to know. And at the same time, you want the best player in there. And so I think the quicker they can get that established, the quicker this offense can really get established.
When you say that the center has to kind of be the center of the line, the most important piece, how much of that is the mental aspect and how much of it is like being a physically dominant player in the middle?
Well, you can get physically dominant players, but if they can't get the signals out quickly, if they can't be clear about what we need to do as a group, which happens almost every single play, whether it's identifying the mic or just being solid in the middle or handling, you can be physical, you can have all the attributes, but if you don't have the mental aspect of it, your group is going to suffer. And especially if they end up playing a rookie quarterback, if they play Bo. He had a great center at Oregon. And it helped. I think it helped him the last 2 years that he was there. And the middle of the pocket was solid. I think most good quarterbacks can avoid edge pressure. They can feel it. But if they can't step up, that's when guys start scrambling and doing things that not to denigrate one of your quarterbacks, but that's what happened to Zach Wilson. I mean, he was just so all over the place. Like, you couldn't run the offense the way that he scrambled and moved because he just feared like the middle of that pocket was breaking down on him.
Baldy, we'll talk about free agents here in a little bit. But while we are talking about centers, I want to get your opinion on how you feel about the centers that are currently in the Broncos room right now. Do you feel confident in the guys moving forward that they have the right two guys fighting for the job, or is this another position where the Broncos should be looking to free agency before training camp to try and fill it?
Well, I mean, none of them have. I mean, whether it's Wittenberg right now, who was a draft pick, or Forsythe, whoever they've got, none of them have any. They don't have enough experience right now. They're gonna now. Some guys, when they get their shot, they're ready for their shot. And so you don't know until they get out there on the field. But I remember Sean Payton drafted the kid out of Texas A&M at the end of his career, and he started day one. He started every game at Texas A&M, came to New Orleans, started center there. They drafted Cesar Ruiz. The kid was so good at center that they just put Cesar at right guard, which wasn't his natural position. But they got the best five guys out there. You don't know until they get out there, honestly. And so I haven't seen enough of either guy to make any kind of evaluation. But, these training camps aren't exactly the most physical things right now. So it might be a tough evaluation at this point until you start. And maybe you can find some things out in one-on-ones and some inside drills when you do pad up. But you're not getting enough of those days right now to kind of make that evaluation. I just hope that one of these guys is ready for the job. But otherwise, if you have to go looking on the wire or guys that are on the street right now, if that's what you have to do, it's not a great sign right now.
Well, the final football question for you here. I think every team that needs a wide receiver is looking at the San Francisco 49ers and monitoring this Brandon Ayuk situation for what happens. If he is available, how good is he, and how aggressive should a team, maybe like the Broncos, be to go out and get him?
Well, he's better than Jerry Jeudy, and you let him go. He's a great player. He's a true number one. He's a great route runner. He's not a diva by any stretch. He is as good a blocking wide receiver as there is in football. I mean, I could put together a highlight reel of him blocking downfield on big plays for the 49ers that led to bigger plays. He's a great player. Now, the price tag for these guys is astronomical, and I don't know that the Broncos can afford it. And he's looking for a big contract, and that's why he's not signed by the 49ers yet. But they've drafted his replacement in Ricky Pearsall. So I think the 49ers want him, but they want him at a certain price tag. I think Brandon wants to play for the 49ers, but at a certain price tag. If they can't make that happen, he's going to hit the market. Somebody's going to sign him. It's just a question of, can you afford it? But he's a true number one wide receiver. He is a dynamic football player.
I love it, Baldy. We love the insight. And final one for you. You posted this video of you out in the Big Blue, and you said that there's never a bad day free diving. Do you consider this a bad day? Because look at all those fish you're around.
Oh, this was a good day. There were sharks in the water that day. I just saw some. I just came in from the water before I came on here. There was a lot of turtles out there today. I mean, any day you're down there, it's like, the underwater desert. You never know what you're going to see. Today's exceedingly calm. It's really clear. You could see schools of tarpon from 100 feet away today. There are no bad days free diving.
Man, that is just incredible. I love your Baldy's breakdowns for football, but also your Baldy's breakdowns of the Big Blue. Thanks so much, Baldy. Safe travels today, and enjoy the offensive line camp.
I'll talk to you guys soon. Look forward to it, man. Thank you.
Right on. Thanks, Baldy. Always love being joined by the legend himself.